Coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you guys wipe them feet. That means get those likes up over here. And also hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. A lot to talk about today. One of, it's funny, man, to call a dog account one of the top inside sources, inside scoops. Kind of came out of hiding today, kind of came out of the shadows today, you guys. I want to show you this real quick because once again, we've been talking about Maxx Crosby, the trade value, the trade market, everything that has been, surrounded around Maxx Crosby in regards to us moving on from him. And it looks like the writing is on the wall. We've been talking about it for a while now, but it looks like Ricky Scoops is officially back on Twitter. I'm going to go ahead and share this real quick, you guys. Boom, boom, boom. Barking rumor. Hearing that the Eagles have made Jaylen Carter available in their pursuit for Raiders Maxx Crosby. Are you ready to let the dogs out? Fly, Eagles, fly. Hashtag Raider Nation. So I was a little late into the whole Ricky Scoops trend. I didn't really buy into it. I got to be real, man. This guy is damn near batting 100. He kind of pops out here and there, says some things, and then leaves Twitter and comes back. I don't know if this is like just a NFL insider or former GM's like burner account. They just kind of throw stuff out there and then leave. But a lot of this stuff truly comes to fruition now. Max, again, we've spoken about him, 28 years old. He'll be 29 years old this season, coming off of another knee injury. It looks as though him and Spy Tech are working hand in hand to potentially put a deal in place that can send him to a contender. Philly, to me, fits the mold of what Maxx Crosby does. Again, the Raiders do as well, but Philly, grimy fan base, grimy city, grimy football team. It just screams Maxx Crosby. Now, again, Howie Roseman is kind of scary, okay? And for those who are not in the know here, Spy Tech worked under Howie Roseman for 2 years in Philadelphia. He said that he is his mentor in terms of, football, business, and every aspect of life. He looks at him as a mentor. He also jokingly said this, I know you guys remember this on one of the pressers, to watch himself anytime, Howie Roseman calls him, if he sees that number pop up, because he is a master trader. He has the reputation of a master trader. So, again, when you hear, Howie Roseman potentially flirting with the idea of moving on from a talent like Jalen Carter, who is on the last year of his rookie deal. He's only 24 years old, right? He was suspended last year. We know the Dak Prescott thing spit on him. He was dealing with some injuries, but he is a Pro Bowler, two-time Pro Bowler, I believe. If we do make this trade, I expect another pick to be tied to it. I don't know if you're going to go ahead and get the 2 firsts in Jalen Carter from Maxx Crosby. I don't believe that Howie's going to part ways with a talent like Jalen Carter and 2 firsts. Potentially you get a first in Jalen Carter. If you can get a Jalen Carter in the building, who should have been here a long time ago. Instead, we took Tyree Wilson. Wouldn't it be funny if Tyree Wilson and Jalen Carter were both on this defense? It would be absolutely hilarious. But the good thing about this is, right, it's the last year of Jalen Carter's deal. We have the option, you guys, to pick up the 5th-year option because he was a former top 10 pick. So he's a cap hit of 6.9 this year. Cash salary, 3.7. And again, you can pick up the 5th-year option in May of this year. So in 2 months from now, you can pick up the 5th-year option, and then you can work out a long-term deal, with Jaylen Carter if we do decide to make this move, if this is actually a possibility. Again, this is a dude, man, that has been an absolute baller up to this point. 13 and a half sacks on his career. He's only been in the NFL for 3 seasons, back-to-back Pro Bowls in 2024 and 2025. A guy that can get after the quarterback. His rookie season, he only started 1 game, played in 16 games, had 6 sacks. The following season, 4.5 in 16 games as well, and 15 starts. And then last year, in 11 starts in 11 games. Again, injuries and suspension kind of kept him out, but he still had 3 sacks on the season, 33 combined tackles, 21 solo, 12 assists, 5 tackles for a loss, and still managed to make the Pro Bowl. Now, I know some people are kind of worried, not only about his reputation, of being a badass, right? We know the situation that happened at Georgia with the racing. We know the Dak Prescott stuff. I think a lot of us in Raider Nation assume the Raiders didn't go that route because of the stuff that was following him from Georgia. But now a lot of people are kind of looking if Jalen would even fit in a 3-4 system, right? He's been really, really good out there in that 4-3. I know that Vic Fangio kind of switches things up a little bit, kind of throws some different looks out there here and there. He did play in a 3-4 at Georgia, you guys. So again, he has some experience playing in a 3-4, multiple different looks, multiple alignments. So again, this kid could play in a 3-4 defense. Now, where does he fit? Is he a 3? I don't know where he fits in the grand scheme of things in the 3-4 defense. That's up to, Rob Leonard, Clint Kubiak, and company to figure this out. But again, he has played multiple positions across the defensive line. I definitely believe that he could play in the 3-4 defense. Again, where does that, where does he play? Where does he fit in that role? To be determined. But again, if you can bring in a Jalen Carter, who I believe when he's out there, he's healthy, is the best defensive tackle in football. I've said it again. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. I know some people are worried about him being in Vegas, and is he mature enough to handle, a Las Vegas, and so on and so forth. Okay. This also can be a situation here where, Spy Tech can be using Philly to get at Jerry Jones. I do believe that Spy wants those 2 first-round picks, the 12 and the 20. So maybe he's just using this, as an avenue to raise the price up on Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Again, I think that he would love to have that, prefer to have that 12 and 20 in a player for Maxx Crosby services. But again, Howie Roseman's not going to help him in regards to playing the game, because Howie does not want Maxx Crosby in Dallas either, you guys. So I need you guys to remember this when we're thinking about, is maybe this a ploy to do this and do that? Howie is very much so interested in Maxx Crosby. They need an edge rusher. They can't pay all these guys. Phillips is a free agent. They just sent a third-round pick to Miami this past season. He's a free agent. There was some reports coming out that they would like to bring him back, to be determined here. But this is very, very interesting. I know Jordan Davis needs to be paid. Jalen Carter needs to be paid. There's a ton of players on that roster that are young. They're going to have upcoming contracts. They're not going to be able to pay everybody. And again, don't think for 1 minute here that Howie's not, if he is going to move and flirt with the idea of moving on from Jalen Carter, that it doesn't have something to do with, the attitude that he brings to the table. Again, you guys, Howie's not just going to dangle a talent like Jalen Carter out there if there's not something that comes along with him outside of the injuries. It could be an attitude thing, and maybe he believes, that he won't last too long in this league because of it. To be determined. We shall see. But again, I do believe that this is a situation where Spy is definitely using this Philly connection with Howie Roseman to kind of counter Jerry Jones. It's your move. Jerry does not want Maxx Crosby to end up in Philadelphia. You guys remember when Micah, they put a poison pill in the contract that states that Green Bay, I believe, can never send Micah Parsons to Philadelphia. That's how much Jerry despises the Philadelphia Eagles in his division, and he does not want to see a player like Maxx Crosby or a Micah Parsons, who's from that area, go to Philadelphia. So again, I think that this is a chess move from Spy Tech. And again, Does he pull the trigger? To be determined. I mean, Jaylen Carter would be a phenomenal asset. He fits the timeline. He's 24 years old. And again, you can pick up the 5th-year option. It's an inexpensive deal. It makes a ton of sense. But Spy knows, he knows the way Jerry went about his business with Micah, that he does not want Maxx Crosby in that division. And there's already been several talks between the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders for the services of Maxx Crosby. So, we'll see here, if this is a real thing. Salute once again to Ricky Scoops. He's dropped several reports out there that most of them truly come to fruition. Only time will tell here. And again, you guys, Spy Tech does have a connection with Howie Roseman. He worked under him for 2 seasons in Philadelphia, and he's been a mentor. He's spoken up very highly of Howie Roseman before. So this is intriguing, you guys. Again, Jalen Carter right now is on a 4-year, $21.8 million fully guaranteed rookie contract, 2-time Pro Bowler, back-to-back seasons as one of the most dominant defensive tackles in football. And if we do make the move, it's very inexpensive this season. And then we have the option of picking up the 5th-year option, which we would do so in May this year, where we can still work out a long-term deal. I love this. I'm a major Jalen Carter fan. I think you guys know during that draft, me and the guys were heavy. I mean, Hammer was always a Tyree guy. I get it. He's a Texas football guy, Texas Tech. I was so on the Jalen Carter hype train. I understood why they didn't do it coming off the Henry Ruggs situation. I didn't think that the Raiders wanted any type of media backlash by bringing in Jalen Carter at the time because of the Henry Ruggs car crash, the whole situation that came with Jalen Carter coming out of Georgia. But again, this would be a very, very interesting move if Spy Tech can pull the trigger on this and bring in Jalen Carter, a 2-time Pro Bowler that fits the mold of what we are trying to do in that timeline. And I think that Rob Leonard and those guys will work wonders with this kid out there in Las Vegas. Now, again, is there some maturity issues? Possibly. Has he had some, injury concerns? Definitely. Did he spit on Dak Prescott? Of course. But again, got Raider written all over him to me. Now, again, the medicals would have to check out. Again, he was injured last season. We have to make sure if that works out in our favor. If not, you don't make the move. But again, only 24 years old. You have him this year, the 5th-year option. And then again, you can have him for the foreseeable future. I think this would be a great move if the Raiders decide to move on from Maxx Crosby. Keep an eye on Jalen Carter. Again, I don't know what that entails outside of Jalen. A draft pick or 2 has to come with them. I'm expecting maybe just 1 because of the talent that Jalen Carter has. And again, remember, you guys, if Howie's trying to move off of a talent, it's not only a money thing. He can't pay everybody, can't pay Cooper DeJean here soon, Quinyon Mitchell, Jordan Davis, and all these other guys. There has to be some concerns here in terms of his character. Now, if Spy Tech and company think that they can get through that and work through his maturity issues or whatever that comes with them, we shall see. To be determined. But I think that he would be an all-pro talent in Las Vegas that can definitely help unlock that defense for sure. Salute to Bodega. Watch the Rams offer 2 firsts and Braden Fisk now. I do it. The young Florida State product. Let's do it. But again, the Rams don't really have too many draft. They have 13 this year. They'd have to send us some future draft capital. That'd be hilarious. That would be hilarious. Jordan Davis would definitely be the way because he fits. I think he would be a perfect fit at the nose tackle position in this 3-4 scheme. And again, he should have been a Pro Bowler. He got in a very good shape this past season. He took his his workouts very, very serious last off season and got in tremendous shape. I would love to have Jordan. I think that he would fit the mold of what we are trying to do with this new scheme. But again, Jalen Carter is the better talent. And that's no knock to Jordan Davis because I'm a big fan of him as well. But Jalen Carter is the better player. Now, again, is Jordan Davis the better fit? Possibly. But again, Jalen Carter is a phenomenal football player. So, we'll see. We'll see. And maybe, you never know. Maybe, Spy counters with we would rather have Jordan Davis. We'll see. We'll see. And again, a lot of us said this, I think that Philly was a good place for Jalen Carter when he was drafted there. You know, a ton of his Georgia Bulldog guys were there, you know, Ringo and again, Jordan Davis. I think it was a good situation for him to go where he has some of his guys around him that can keep him on track. Now, again, I don't know anything personally about Jalen Carter. I don't know how he is in the locker room. I just know he's a phenomenal, tremendous football player. Simple and plain. So, but we'll see what this thing looks like here soon. Salute to Ricky Scoops. First on the case with this, it looks as though the Eagles have made Jalen Carter available in their pursuit for Maxx Crosby. I don't know if you remember this a few weeks ago, or probably over a month ago. I mentioned Jalen Carter, but I said it would never happen. I don't think that they would part ways with him. I think that they would go the Jordan Davis route before they went Jalen Carter. And look, man, I was wrong. It looks as though, well, it looks like I was wrong. To be determined, we shall see. Let me catch up on these supers real quick. Salute to everybody here in the building, you guys. Again, Mendoza line. I think we would have to give up Maxx and a pick for Carter. No, not at all. I hope today is the day the trade happens. Tired of checking X every 5 minutes. No, if anything, we get a pick in return. One is a 5-time Pro Bowler and would in a second-team All-Pro, would be a 5-time probably All-Pro if he was in the NFC, not going against the Myles Garretts and the TJ Watts of the world. No, they have to attach a pick. We're not giving up a pick for Jalen Carter, and then we're giving them Maxx Crosby. It makes no sense, my brother. But I hear you. I'm definitely tired of these trade talks, and let's just get it over with. But again, it has to make sense, and I love the way Spy Tech and Company are going about their business. Simply, swap seems fair considering the age, but man, Carter in Vegas seems scary as F. Well, I mean, honestly, simply, I mean, what other off-field shit have we heard about in regard? And I could be wrong here. I don't remember hearing anything outside of those races, you know, when he was in college, the car incident. What else has there been? I know there's been, you know, some on-field stuff, the spitting and, you know, some injury, but what else was there? Maybe I'm just not doing my homework here. Simply let me know if you know a little bit more than me, because I have not heard anything in regards to him getting in any trouble since leaving Georgia with that whole car incident. Ty, didn't Carter have surgery not long ago? I think he did. Was it his shoulder? I think it was his shoulder. And it might have been double surgery as well. Okay. Jalen Carter underwent non-surgical, likely PRP injection procedures on both shoulders early December 2025 to address lingering injuries. The move was precautionary to ensure he reached 100% health for the playoffs. He was considered week to week, so it didn't sound like it was too serious of a situation. Reports indicate it was a scope, or more likely a PRP, platelet-rich plasma injections rather than major surgery. The procedure occurred around December 4th, 2025, causing him to miss the Monday Night Football game against the Chargers. Carter has been playing through shoulder issues for most of the season. Last season, Carter indicated he felt better and was preparing to return to play, specifically targeting the Bills game. So while he aimed to be ready for the playoffs, he admitted he might not have been 100% for the remainder of the 2025 season. So non-surgical Ty. Salute to my guy Singh, man. To be honest, bro, I would need a first and a second with him. Yeah, I don't believe you're going to get that. I don't believe you're going to get a first and a second. I think that, you know, you potentially get another pick with him, but I don't know if you're going to get both. Again, you're bringing in a 2-time Pro Bowler who is 4.5 years younger than Maxx Crosby, who has his entire career ahead of him and really is just starting to hit his stride here in the NFL. So, but we'll see. Again, a pick has to come with Carter. This cannot be just a swap. I cannot see that happening. And if so, you know, what Spy said about Howie Roseman being kind of a master manipulator in terms of trading, I guess then Spy got cooked in this one. So, but we'll see. Salute to my guy, Raider Zilla, my dog, man. Appreciate you, brother. As always, I'm becoming a member. If you guys want to become members, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Again, it definitely helps us keep the lights on. Zilla, my brother, I appreciate you, man. I know you were a member before. Maybe you're just ringing up. Thank you, my brother. Adrian, what kind of trade package do you think it would be? It just depends. I mean, look, it looks like A.J. Brown may be out of there soon as well, okay? There's talks of, I think Diana Rossini put it out there that the Chargers, or not the Chargers, I think they were kind of flirting with the idea. The Rams were making some calls. It still seems like the Patriots are bust in regards to A.J. Brown. I think that they said Baltimore would be a team that may be interested in A.J. Brown as well. And keep an eye on Baltimore with Maxx Crosby also. They had a problem with the pass rush last year in Baltimore. They have a new defensive-minded head coach in Jesse Minter. They're going to want to get after the passer a lot. And Max would definitely fit the billing out there in Baltimore. But honestly, man, I don't know. It'd probably be look, if you're taking on Carter again, you know, Spy Tech can use he played in 11 games last year. You know, he fought through through some injuries. Again, Max has 2, right? So how we can counter with that. Now, again, was there some other off-field stuff with Jalen Carter in the past? Yes. So, you know, I don't really truly know. In a perfect world, maybe they move on from A.J. Brown and pick up an extra first. They give us the first from A.J., which would probably be New England, one of the latest first-round picks. And then you get that and you get Jalen Carter. So possibly, I think he would still want a first for Maxx Crosby, the more accomplished football player in this deal. And I think with Maxx Crosby in Philadelphia, with Jordan Davis in the middle of that defense, you got, you know, Nolan Smith. I don't know what they're doing with him right now. They have a ton of talent out there. They may bring Phillips back, to be determined, who's to say. But again, that can put them potentially over the hump out there in that conference and get them back to a Super Bowl here soon. So we'll see. We'll see. But I'm thinking Spy is still going to say, give me a first in Jalen Carter. Simple and plain. Because, again, remember this, Adrian, he's doing Howie a favor as well. Yes, he's getting a great player in Jalen Carter, but again, Howie's not going to be able to pay all these guys. Max is still under contract right now, and an inexpensive deal at that, you know. So, and I read a tweet earlier, you guys. This is what's kind of actually crazy. Let me go to my page real quick. Where is this real fast? I want to read what Spot Track. If a team comes to head and a team is acquiring edge rusher Maxx Crosby, they will be able to process a simple salary conversion on his contract that will drop his acquired cap hit from $30.7 million down to $7.73 million. So think about that. A team acquiring Max will be able to process a simple salary conversion of his contract that will drop his acquired cap hit from 30.7 to $7.73 million. Another, another thing, a bargaining chip that, you know, a Spy Tech can use in terms of moving on, you know, from Maxx Crosby. That's actually crazy. Actually crazy. Salute to Bravo. My guy, man. Appreciate you, brother. Graphk, Carter is a game wrecker. Facts. He's an absolute beast. He gets his sacks, pause. But the big point is he controls that line and he demands a double team. He is nasty. Mahomes would definitely not want this. Facts. Facts plus tax. And also, you know, you go from one game record to the next, but you also get a guy, again, that's 4 years younger, almost 5 years younger than Maxx Crosby. And he can grow with, you know, all these young guys that we're going to draft in this year's class and our year 2 and year 3 guys. I think that if you can get Jalen Carter in any kind of trade with some draft capital tied to him, I think you really possibly have to think about pulling the trigger here. You know, so get those likes up, man. Salute to my guy Bubba, man. Come on. We got 1,200 between Twitter and YouTube. Get those likes up, you guys. Please make sure you keeps us in the algorithm, and it definitely helps us in terms of getting this podcast seen on YouTube, you know, to more eyes, man. So keep an eye out. I mean, hit the likes, man. Wipe them feet. Let me see. We're not taking on A.J. Brown, JD's contract. We wouldn't take A.J. Brown and Jalen Carter. It's not going to happen, brother. Salute to Geo. Late to the show. If Jalen Carter is in the mix, how does he project in a 3-4 scheme? Nose tap? No, he won't be a nose. There's a ton of questions about that. If there is, Geo, and again, you know, he's played in a 3-4 before. Again, we just talked about it. I know you just joined the show. He has played in a 3-4 before. His time at Georgia, he was a versatile defensive lineman out there. He has played, multiple fronts out there in Philadelphia as well. You know, I know that they're more of a base 4-3 defense, but he has played in some looks out there. Now, I just honestly don't know where they would see him. You know, again, he's played in multiple alignments from college to the NFL. So I just honestly, I don't really know where they would see him, where he would fit, within this new 3-4 scheme. But I think that he's too good of a player to not bring him in and see, I mean, he would fit regardless. I just don't know where they would put him. I personally do not know. I don't know. But he wouldn't be a nose. It'd be interesting. Do you think they put him at DE? I mean, that would probably have to be the look right there, right? We'll see. We'll see. I don't see him at all, though, at the nose tackle. That's a Jordan Davis special right there. He would have to be a defensive end right in that 3-4 look. Daniel says Carter and Nakobe paired back up. Man, that would be great. Go get Nakobe here, free agency. Double up. Let's do it. Let's do it. I think Mahomes is still having nightmares of Carter. Laugh out loud. He destroyed him in that Super Bowl. Bravo. This is facts. Facts plus tax, bro. They beat the dog shit out of the Kansas City Chiefs in that Super Bowl, man. For sure. Yeah, but Daniel, I would love that. I would love that. Whoa, Daniel, I don't get paid for that. I get paid to talk Raider football. I don't get paid to see where he fits. That's up to Rob Leonard, and our coaches on the defensive side of the football. You know what I mean? So if Spy makes the move, they have a plan. You know what I mean? Like me personally, I don't know where they would see him fit in that defense. Again, it's up to them. But I trust Rob Leonard and company. If they make the move, they're gonna put him in the best position to win in the trenches. So, it is what it is. If we trade Maxx, that's the way to do it, right? And it sells the fan base that you're moving on from one great player to the next. People can't complain about going out and getting a really, really great football player in return for Maxx, and then potentially some draft capital as well. So. Yes, Spy Tech did say he admires how the Eagles build the trenches last year at the Combine. This is facts. Also, he said that he's a Michigan guy, and he knows that it starts up front on both sides of the football. And, you got to get those right. You have to get them right. Again, that's why he's not in a rush to move Maxx Crosby. It has to make a ton of sense to move him. So let me see. Question for Graphk. Aiden makes Mac in San Diego eat a 64 burger. We sit him last year so he doesn't win us games. Can he bridge quarterback until Fernando hits the lights? All right, I'm going to say this. Salute to my guy, Maine. We'll get to that portion of the show here. It looks like Geno Smith will be cut here very soon, you guys. And it looks as though he's already tweeting away, thanking God and all that good stuff. So he's happy that he is no longer a Raider. There's no real new news here. We knew that Geno was going to be gone. Some people were trying to sell it, that he could be the bridge guy. Never bought into that bullshit. Again, it was a burnt bridge on both sides. Geno's gone. Aiden will be in the building. I'm sorry, you guys. We can potentially go get, a Jacoby Brissett or a Kirk Cousins, one of these veteran guys, right? We'll definitely bring in a veteran. But I just don't see in any world, regardless of what Tom or Spy says, Fernando Mendoza will be starting from week 1. This is what it is. I don't see in any world where you get him at 1 and he does not start. I just don't see it. I don't see them starting Jacoby over him. Possibly if you bring in Kirk Cousins, a guy that knows the system with Clint Kubiak, their time in Minnesota, it make a ton of sense. But I really, truly believe in my heart of hearts that there's no way they draft him at 1 and he's not ready to go come week 1. He will be the guy. Simple and plain. Now, let's just say, God forbid, they don't build this team up the way they wanted to, maybe the draft doesn't go the way that they want it to go. God forbid, and free agency, they miss out on some guys and they really believe that they haven't put in a strong enough team around Fernando. Maybe they say, let's not throw him out there to the wolves just yet. But I really, truly believe, man, that there's no way in hell that Fernando doesn't start week 1. That's just, I have a strong nagging suspicion that he'll be the guy come week 1. You don't take a quarterback at 1 and sit him. I don't see it. I don't see it at all. Let me see. Jalen Carter's in the final. Yep. Year of his 4-year, $21.8 million fully guaranteed rookie contract. Yep. And ITK, again, we can pick up the 5th-year option in May. and then you can work on a long-term deal with him if he is, included in the trade if we decide to send Maxx to Philly. So, yeah, I'm not Devin. I've never heard of him. The card thing sucks, right? I think that a lot of times, you guys, we have to get. He was a kid in college. These kids in college. I don't think a lot of people understand this. That these athletes get away with a lot of shit at these big organizations, these big schools, the Georgias, the Alabamas of the world. All this shit, right? He was a kid. He's in the league now. He's an adult. He's 24 years old. At this point, like, I don't know what else. I mean, how many times have you guys did dumb shit when you were 20 years old? Honestly, I know I was doing, I can't even tell y'all some of the shit I was doing at 20. So, I mean, come on, man. I mean, is it okay to learn from shit and move? Like, honestly, is it okay to mature as the years go by in your life? No one's perfect, man. No one's perfect, man. No one's perfect. Now, again, I'm not here to say that Jalen comes to Vegas and he's the perfect player, perfect teammate. I'm not here to say that. I'm not here to sell you that. But again, outside of the spitting on, Dak and getting suspended, had a few, injury. I mean, I haven't really heard too much in regards to Jalen Carter having the off-field shit since Georgia. So salute to my guy CGR, man, my brother and one of the GOATs over here, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships, my brother. I appreciate you so much. Salute to one of the Mod Fathers and my brother Germ 209. Salute to the 209, man. Stockton, Modesto, Tracy, all my people out there. Thank you, brother. Salute to the 10 new members because of Germ and CGR. If you guys want to become members, hit that link. It's pinned up top. Again, it definitely helps us keep the lights on over here, man. So again, man, I understand a lot. We're Raider fans, you guys. We've been through a lot, right? We've been through the Damon Arnett's. We've been through the Henry Ruggs. We've been through a lot of nasty situations with some of these young guys entering the league. I get it. I understand it. It is what it is. But again, shit happens. You move on. He's in the league. He's an adult. And if he's a guy that's going to be a centerpiece of that defense moving forward, get behind it or don't. It is what it is. But I would love the move. If Jalen Carter's a Raider, I would be hyped because, again, I was screaming from the mountaintops for him to be a Raider in the first place. So, maybe it was, God's will to let him go to Philly initially, go get a Super Bowl, mature a little bit before he came out to Las Vegas and, entering his second deal. Who knows? Just another DJ. How much does Carter love football? Who's to say the money in Vegas won't change him like it did Albert Haynesworth? Carter is still immature, in my opinion. Well, I mean, do you know him? Do you know him? Are you just going off of him spitting on Dak Prescott? I mean, the man is back-to-back Pro Bowler. I mean, does that not scream loves football? I don't think that anybody can just go out there and not work their tail off and become back-to-back Pro Bowlers. What are we doing here, DJ? Like, what the fuck are we doing here, man? Like, he took his off seasons very serious. He's played at a high level, back-to-back years. Shit, 3 years now. What are we doing? Salute to Elijah, man. I don't care what y'all say about Carter. He's got old school Raiders vibes to him. Need him to disrespect Mahomes the way he did Dak. Bring him in. Talk that shit. Salute to my brother Elijah in the building on a 5-hour smack. And DJ, you have every right to feel how you feel, brother. You have every right to feel how you feel, okay? I'm not here to tell you how to feel. But again, if you don't know him, you can't really – we can't say he's immature. We don't know him. We don't know him. Hopefully Howie Roseman respects, Spy Tech enough to give him kind of an inside track as to who Jalen Carter is. Again, when it comes to negotiations, right? I mean, you're going to hold out some things in regards to trying to get the best, player out of the deal. I'm not expecting Howie Roseman to tell him that, he's this and this, this and that. Maybe there are some red flags here, but again, I don't know the kid personally, so I'm not here to say that he's immature and he doesn't love the game. Who am I to say that? He's back. He's been back-to-back Pro Bowls. The kid can play football at a high level. He's one of the best defensive tackles, if not the best defensive tackle in football. So let me say this. Even if he doesn't love football, keep playing the way you're playing right now. Let me say that. Even if you don't love football, right now, I don't give a shit. Then keep playing how you're playing. Is what it is. Salute to One Nation. Blessings to you and the family, big dog. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you on a $2 donation. And more importantly, the kind words, man. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. You guys are going crazy here today. My boy Maine. You're right, Graphk. College, a football star with keys to a Jeep Trackhawk, rocking 800 horsepower. I've done so much worse. Talk that talk, my brother. Talk that talk. Man, I couldn't even repeat to some of y'all some of the shit that I did when I was 17, 18, 19, 20 years old. Come on, man. And Deb, who hasn't spit on somebody before, right? Salute to Andy, my brother's in the building. Man, if they throw Jalen Carter in the mix in a first, that's a must. Roseman is being smart. He knows he can't pay everyone, but I understand the character concerns. Couldn't say any better, my brother. Facts. You cannot pay everybody. Again, Jordan Davis, you got fucking Cooper DeJean. You have, all the Quinyon Mitchells of the world. Their deals are going to come up here soon. You can't pay everybody. Somebody has to go. And maybe they think, with Jordan Davis in the middle of that defensive line, that Maxx can thrive because of it. You know what I mean? So one got to go. One got to go. It is what it is. One's coming off of also playing in 11 games and spitting on Dak Prescott. And the other one, was in the best shape of his life. And i.e. Jordan Davis. So it is what it is. Salute to my brother Ty in the building, man, with a $50 bomb. I appreciate you, my brother. Bing bong, the a-hole is gone. Geno Smith. This super is literally just because Geno is gone. Goodbye and good riddance. Yes, man. Ty, in honor of Geno, I took a Geno this morning. I drank two Celsiuses, man. I'm gonna be real with you. My stomach's a little like right now. So I'm expecting one more, like a remix. Just one more remix Geno on the way out. Okay. So yeah, I'm no longer gonna refer to bowel movements as Geno. This is the last Geno ever. The one earlier this morning was phenomenal. I'm expecting an even better one after these Celsiuses. They're killing my stomach right now. So Ty, yes, man. Yes. In honor of Geno Smith leaving, you guys, everyone, if you can, including our sis Deb, I know you may not want to talk about it, but go ahead and drop a Geno today. Everyone needs to take a healthy Geno in honor of Geno leaving Vegas. Salute to my brother Ty, as always, my brother. I appreciate you so much. And salute to Show Deuce, my guy, man. I appreciate you, brother. I'm becoming a member as well. Welcome to Green Dot Gang, my brother. Salute to you. Salute to my brother Rick, man, gifting 10 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My dog, Brave Raider, one of the GOATs. Salute to you and good luck with your bowling podcast over there, brother. Proud of you, man. Keep grinding. One of the originals over here at OLV Raiders Network. Salute to the 10 new members and the 5 more because of my guy Fupa in the building. You guys are so legendary. Foop, I appreciate you, man. One of the GOATs over here at OLV as well. Thank you so much, man. You guys are literally, man, the greatest. Salute to my guy, Fupa, man. Hit the link again up top, you guys, if you would like to become a member, man. Yeah, CJ, there you go, man. In honor of Geno, put those shit emojis, man, in the comment section, you guys. Definitely, man. Definitely. Dante, Rashawn Gary hasn't really panned out at the NFL level. He was great at Michigan. I thought he was going to be one of the better pass rushers in football. I really thought that he had, I didn't realize, I started kind of diving into, his resume here at the NFL. I didn't realize he's never had a season over 10 sacks. He's still fairly young. He's getting paid way too much money out there in Green Bay. I thought with Micah coming in, he was going to be like that nice 1-2 punch with Mike out there, and it didn't really pan out. If Gary pulled up, I'm not going to look at it as like a major pickup for us. Again, I think he kind of is who he is right now. I think that Wasted would say a little different about Rashawn Gary. I wouldn't be against it if the price tag wasn't crazy. We'll see. But again, he hasn't lived up to the billing since coming out of Michigan. I thought he'd be a lot better than that, man. Salute to Foop. Took a blinker and left the Geno in my shorts, man. It's nasty work out here, Foop. Nasty work, fool. And salute to the tank god, the commander god, the tank commander god. Without Geno, man, you don't get a Clint Kubiak. You don't get a Fernando Mendoza. I think people need to understand here that, Geno meant a lot to this organization. That flip off to hug actually saved this organization, man. It saved this fan base. It saved this team. We get our guy at the quarterback position. We got the guy, the head coach, the big fish during this cycle. So, I'm hyped, man. I'm hyped. I am hyped. Salute to Geno, man. Once again, once a Raider, always a Raider, baby. You have done a lot for this organization and will forever be indebted to Mr. Geno Smith. You can unblock me now. Again, you guys, salute to everybody here in the building. There is some news that dropped today. I'm going to bring it back up on the screen here. I'm going to go over to actually to Scoop's page because he's been kind of dropping some bombs over there. Let's go check out Scoops real quick over here on Twitter while we have about 1,400 people here in the building. Again, get those likes up, you guys. I was a little confused because I was following him and he came back and he only had like 300 or 400 followers. I thought it was a fake Ricky Scoops page. I'm like, this cannot be the Ricky Scoop that I followed before. Well, those followers went right back up immediately. And throwing it out there, it looks like Alec Pierce maybe potentially a Patriot. I know a lot of other people have been reporting that as well. This is kind of an easy one to kind of throw against the wall and hope that it sticks because New England needs a number one receiver. They moved on from Stephon Diggs. They freed up some money. This makes all the sense in the world. Alec Pierce is going to go into free agency. He says that he deserves to see what's out there in free agency. So it looks like the Colts may lose their young wide receiver coming off of a career year. Been a great month for Patriots, not a politics tweet. And the spirit should continue as the Patriots are going to throw a bag at Alec Pierce. Will he take his place in a long line of gritty, gym rat, scrappy, lunch pail wide receivers that have called Foxborough home? Sneaky, athletic New England Patriots. I think this is kind of an easy one right here to predict. I really, truly believe that Alec Pierce could be a Patriot. They'll have the money to do so. He fits. Drake May needs a number one receiver. Makes a ton of sense. Also put K9, update from the K9. I've been told the Chiefs are the current favorite to land Super Bowl MVP, Kenneth Walker III. The Giants have also been interested. So the Giants are an interesting team, and I don't know why they'd be, interested with bringing in Kenneth Walker and paying that kind of money. I mean, Cam Scadab was coming off of a nasty injury, but they have a nice little, they brought back Devin Singletary. They have Tracy out there who's been really good for them. I guess that they're just going to want to run the football out there with Harbaugh, and kind of, help out Jackson Dart there in the ground game. But I'm kind of shocked by the Giants being interested in wanting to pay him probably north of $10 million to come in when they have a nice, a nice little list of running backs out there. But it looks like the Chiefs may be the team to potentially bring in Kenneth Walker. We'll see. I just don't want to see Jeremiah Love land there in Kansas City. But again, I think Jeremiah Love is going to be a top 5 pick. And then once again, you guys, what this show is about, Ricky put it out there, barking rumor, hearing that the Eagles have made Jalen Carter available in their pursuit for Raiders. Maxx Crosby, are you ready to let the dogs out? Big haymaker there in Raider Nation. So, yeah, man, crazy times going on right now in the NFL. And again, I think it's only a matter of time before we move on from Maxx Crosby. But again, Spytech is being very, very chill, not showing his hand. I'm just waiting again for Jerry to kind of up the ante here. I really believe Spytech is using Philadelphia here to pry those 2 first-round picks away from Dallas. If you want Max, Jerry, we want 12 and 20. We want 12 and 20, and then maybe throw us a Siobhan Revel or, give us Aubrey, a kicker, man. Y'all, you don't want to pay him, right? We'll pay him. Again, give us a player in those 2 first, and you can go ahead and have them. It looks like Spy is playing ball here, and I love to see it, man. Salute to Barry. You are not getting a first and Carter from Philly, bro. Like a second, and they will ask for a 5th back. Hey, look, bro, I don't know. Barry, I don't know. I don't know, man. Again, you got one guy in Max that has one of the healthiest contracts for the production that he puts out there, right? He's under contract. You're bringing in Jalen Carter, a guy that has character concerns, who was suspended last year, shoulder injury, and needs a new deal. So again, look, I would take Jalen Carter in a second. So I don't want to fight you on this, but I'm not throwing them a draft pick. I'm just not. Again, you got a guy that was dealing with shoulder injuries last year, and there's a lot that comes with Jalen Carter, right? So look, man, it is what it is. But look, give me Jalen Carter in a second. I'm cool. Because again, you're getting a dog. I think this would be a great swap. One guy is younger, a dominant defensive force at the tackle position, and the other is a dominant edge rusher. But I'm still asking for a first. Simple and plain. Give me Jalen in the first. You can have Maxx. Personally, don't hurt to ask, right? Salute to my guy Rube, man. My dog. Is it a concern that Jalen Carter is a young player on the decline? He's gotten worse and worse since he's gotten to the league. Work ethic is a concern for me. He's gotten worse. What do you mean he's gotten worse? He's been a back-to-back Pro Bowler, 2024, 2025. I know some people don't really put too much stock into the Pro Bowl, but I mean, what do you mean in regards to getting worse? I mean, what do you mean? He had the same amount of tackles last year that he had his rookie season in 16 games that he did in 11 last year. Do you mean in the sack department? Pause if necessary. Six his rookie year, 4.5 the next year, 3 last year in 11 games. 7 passes defense last year. He had 6 the year prior, 0 his rookie season. He had 1 forced fumble. His rookie year didn't have any his second or third year. 12 QB hits last year in 11 games. He had 16 the year prior in 16 games. He had 9 his rookie season. Rube, you're better than this. I got to disagree with you, brother. I got to disagree with you. I have to disagree with you. I would love to see, your argument about that, but I don't see him getting worse and worse. I think that he is only going to get better. And, again, I don't know the whole work ethic thing. The guy is, every time he's out there, he's one of the best players on the field. Rube, please let me know why you feel like that. I would love to know in the comment section, brother, why you feel like that. Yeah, Estai, he's just getting started. He's 24 years old. He's 24 years old. He hasn't even hit his second deal yet. And again, you get a chance to pick up the 5th-year option as well, Rube, and really see who this kid is the next 2 seasons before you truly extend him and make him a Raider for the foreseeable future. You get 2 years because of that, first-round tag. You get 2 years of Jalen Carter before he truly gets paid. Main interior trench disruption will destroy every aspect of an offense. QBs hate it, and I want it. Facts. We haven't had it in a long time. Man, we haven't had it in many moons. And I would love this move. I would truly love this move. I think Jalen Carter would be a great get. ITK, I understand that the 5th-year option is going to cost you a ton of money. But what I'm saying is he doesn't get that extension yet. You get another year to still look at him. And again, we're going to have a ton of cap space the following year as well. $27 million. If that's the 5th-year option on him, that's nothing because we'll have a ton of money. And you still get an extra year to evaluate and see, if you want to give the green light and give him a major 100+ mil deal. I didn't see that, Winston. I didn't see them pick up the 5th-year option. You can't even pick it up until May of this year. That's not true, brother. You can't pick up the 5th-year option until May of this year. What I just read that they have, you cannot pick that up until May of 2026. I don't know where you're getting your information, bro, but please let me know in the comment section. Elijah D says, check out AFL Godfathers. Let me see. Check out my guy real quick. Let me move this. AF. Is it the check mark? Is it the check mark? I think that's what you're talking about here. Oh shit. Okay. So it looks like, what is this? Is this Roseman and Spy Tech? Elijah, I'll bring it up here in a second. MTV says trading someone like Maxx is going to shake up the league, and whatever happens, it's going to benefit us the most. GMs love a player like Maxx. Facts, my brothers. Salute to MTV, my guy, my dog, and I'll never, ever forgive you for that comment you made on it yesterday on the Graphk and Wasted show. You bum! Salute to my guy, MTV, man. All right, let me see. What does this mean, you guys? What does this mean? Is Clint? Is that Clint? Is that Clint Eastwood? Is this like a standoff with Spy Tech and Roseman? Or is it a standoff with Jerry Jones and Howie Roseman? How do you interpret this? Faithful, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to say with what Scoops puts out there is gospel. The guy clearly does not care about making money on Twitter. He literally has one of the top accounts on Twitter in regards to football. Look, I'm with you. Originally, I was like, yo, this a dog account. I'm telling you now, Faithful, this is a former GM or a former insider that has a ton of information. This dude he rarely misses. That's all I'm going to say. So, say what you will. It is what it is. And it's actually like $11 a month. So you don't know what the hell you're talking about. So what do you guys think this means? Salute to Elijah. Appreciate you. Salute to S. Dot as well. Yeah. He must be a Bears fan or something. He must be a Bears fan. He must be pissed off. Cowboys? 3-team standoff? Philly? Dallas? Raiders? Okay. Third shooter steps in. Howie, Jerry, Spy Tech. Okay. S. Dot, sometimes you have to excuse Rube when he is off the goofy juice exploding in toilets at Denny's at times. Factory outlet, my brother. So the S. Dot. And then why you say that, Rube just throws another bomb in the mix. Look at how he played versus the run his rookie year. This year, one of the worst DTs versus the run. There were Eagle fans posting clips of him constantly taking plays off. He's a great talent, and I take him, but need a 1 or a 2. Well, you know what, Rube? I know you know football, brother, so I'm going to go dive into his tape from 2025. You know what? I'm going to do my homework tonight, and I'll give you a better assessment of what I've seen from him in the run game. But again, I just don't see how you can pass up on this kind of talent move if it comes with moving on from Maxx Crosby. In a perfect world, you get a talent like him and then a draft pick, it's phenomenal. Because guess what? You get a guy that is a proven commodity, and then you get an asset in terms of a draft pick, which is, an unknown. We don't know what that may turn into. Right? So, salute to my guy Rube. But thank you. You gave me some homework, my brother. You gave me some homework, man. Salute to my brother Hug in the building as well. Let me see. Definitely got to check that out. Salute to Scene, my guy. Get the questions in, you guys, before we get out of here. Jerry and Howie stand off, spy watching with popcorn. Okay. I can see that. Let's get it. Salute to our guy, AFL Godfather, man. Always throwing little clues up on Twitter, man. We have fun with AFL. He's a good dude. That's my guy, man. We've been following each other for a while now. That's the guy. Chicago's out. You don't cut Edmonds if you were close to a trade with the Raiders if we are demanding a player. Well, I don't agree with you, Josh. Again, maybe they're out. Maybe they pivot and try to go get Linderbaum or McGovern there at the center position. Maybe they build to the draft. Maybe Ryan Poles says, look, we're going to build through the draft and get a little younger at certain positions. There was reports that the Raiders were interested in bringing in Edmonds. Again, I don't think that they wanted to inherit that contract. Chicago saved, $14-15 million, somewhere roughly around there. Moving on from them, they freed up some money. So they got some money to play with right now. I think they're somewhere around, the last I checked, it was like $32 million. I could be totally off right now. They may have freed up even more now. You know what I mean? But I think moving on from them gives them even more a shot because they needed to free up some money. And again, he's free to sign elsewhere, you guys. Maybe Edmonds does come to the Raiders. His brother played for us last year. I believe I think his brother just bought a house in the area in Vegas. I seen somewhere online that he bought a home. You know what? I don't want to say it was Las Vegas because I'm not positive, but his brother played for the Raiders last year. Maybe the Giants bring him in. I can definitely see the Giants bringing him in out there to take over that linebacker position. They just let go of one of their own. So, but we'll see. But again, I don't know if the Bears are out just yet, but it does look as though there's three teams kind of right there. The Rams have been kind of quiet it's been kind of quiet on that front. After making that move, for one of the top, corners in football and Trent McDuffie. But it looks like you're hearing more and more of the Cowboys, Philly, and Baltimore now. Possibly Baltimore. Now, again, I don't know what that looks like. They have Baltimore has the 14th pick this upcoming draft. So that would be a premium draft pick right there. But what do they include in that also to be determined? Yep, the Packers will be releasing Pro Bowl defensive end Rashawn Gary. Had 46.5 sacks during his time in Green Bay. So we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see if the Raiders, make a move in free agency to possibly bring him in. We'll see. There's a few others out there, you guys. Let me bring this off real quick. There's a lot of moves going on right now around the NFL. Let's go over a few before we get out of here real fast. Tyler Decker, left tackle, announced on IG that he requested and will be released by the Detroit Lions. You know what, man? I can see him going to Chicago. I can see him going to Chicago. They need a left tackle. They need a center. I can see him possibly going to Chicago. So we'll see where he goes. Let me see what else. Rashawn Gary announced on IG that he is leaving Green Bay. When I got the call in 2019, it was one of the greatest moments of my life and always will be. The opportunity to represent Green Bay and the Packer Nation across the country and around the world is something I will never forget. Like all chapters in life, this one has come to an end. I want to thank everyone who supported me and my family throughout the years. The love, the energy, and the memories mean more than words can explain. On to my next step. Nowhere near done yet. All 6'5" and 275. Can't wait. So Decker asked to be released from Detroit. Rashawn Gary was let go. Curtis Samuel is being released from Buffalo. I'm not shocked about that at all. It looks like they're kind of trying to reload that wide receiver room by bringing in DJ Moore. And it sounds like they're not done quite yet. So keep an eye on them. The Bills are releasing corner Teron Johnson after 8 seasons together. This is coming from Jeremy Fowler over at ESPN. Started 87 games for Buffalo. Became an All-Pro in 2023. Let me see. Alec Singleton is set to be honored this weekend in Baltimore as the Broncos. Okay. I don't know what's – okay. At the time, he is poised to become a free agent next week. There's just an announcement right there. Let me see. After two sides cannot come to an agreement, the Dolphins are now expected to release kicker Jason Sanders. Per source, Sanders leaves Miami with a streak of 27 straight made field goals and 9-9 on his last 50-plus field goals. So there's another option out there in free agency at the kicker position, you guys. Tommy DeVito agreed on a 2-year, $7.4 million deal that includes $2 million guaranteed with New England. So he goes back there. And then we talked about Geno getting canned as well. So let me see. Salute to Rube as well on the way out. Again, if you guys get a few more questions in before we get out of here. S. Dot, you were talking about getting Becton in an outside zone scheme. To Clint's size isn't everything he believes. It's about the motion in the ocean. Talk that talk, Rube. Talk that talk, my brother. What kind of rebuttal, S. Dot, do you have for Rube now, brother? Yes, because again, Becton was really bad last year with the Chargers, and he definitely does not fit what we're trying to do with this new scheme with Clint Kubiak in the mix. So let me see. Raiders, Eagles, Super Bowl rematch on the way. Hey, Kill, that'd be dope. That'd be dope. That would be dope. But yeah, let me see. I think I'm pretty much checked in with everything else. Okay, boom. Oh, nope. I think there's one more. Okay, I read Sing Super as well. All right, so other than that, you guys, a lot to kind of sit back and wait for. It looks as though Howie Roseman and company are potentially dangling Jalen Carter and his services over spy tech in the Raiders right now in regards to Maxx Crosby. Something to keep an eye on here, you guys. You get a Pro Bowl player for a Pro Bowl player on a more inexpensive deal, 24 years old with the 5th-year option that you can pick up in May. Look, man, I think that would be a great, great move. Again, what does it entail in terms of draft capital? I think that you have to get something else in return for Jalen Carter, for the services of Maxx Crosby. Something to monitor. Hearing also Baltimore is in the mix for Maxx. Something to remember. They had the 14th pick in this year's class. They had a terrible time getting after the quarterback last year. With Jesse Minter in the building, they're definitely going to value pass rushing ability. They need to get right out there on the defensive line. So that would be an interesting move as well. My brother Jason says either Dallas give them 2 first or we get Carter in the first. Win-win for us. Talk that talk, my brother. Hey, Jerry, it's your play now, brother. It's your play. What do you want to do here? What do you want to do here? It's on you, Jerry, because I'm telling you right now, Spy Tech, you evil genius. You evil genius. Do not think for one moment, and Howie knows, and Jerry knows, but don't think for one moment that Spy Tech is not pitting Jerry against Howie Roseman. And then remember again, you guys, the poison pill that was put in that contract when they traded Micah Parsons to Green Bay. They cannot move him to Philadelphia. That team is off limits. Jerry hates Philadelphia. Philadelphia hates Dallas. So now we sit back and we just watch Spy Tech's evil plan hopefully come to fruition here. So the room, I was late to the live. What would Ravens have to give if they were in on the trade? What player would they give up? I just don't know. I don't know if it'd be a young player, potentially like a Nate Wiggins, or they're not giving up Kyle Hamilton. That's for sure. They're not. He is a unicorn. I'm a Notre Dame guy. I know how great Kyle Hamilton is. It just really, really depends. I really don't know. I don't think they're going to move anybody off that defensive line. Maybe a young corner like a Wiggins, or I'm trying to see, man. I mean, they're not moving off Roquan Smith. So I don't really know. I don't know. Maybe they look at the offensive side of the ball. Maybe they find a way to do a sign and trade with Linderbaum, and maybe they get really crazy and real stupid, and they find a way to involve Tyler Linderbaum in a sign and trade to, if that's even possible, to I don't know. We'll see. Chris, I appreciate you, man. First time seeing your channel. Much love, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Appreciate you, brother. Sports Junkie says if we keep Maxx, bringing Gary, we'll see. Again, he's still only 28 years old. Had over 46 sacks in his career. I wouldn't be upset about it. Again, I thought that he was going to be like an all-pro talent, coming in the league out of Michigan, and it just really hasn't been that. But again, if the asking price isn't insane, you never know. Let me see. Why can't the Ravens give up Hamilton for Maxx? Make that make sense? Pro Bowler for Pro Bowler and then some? Yeah, it's not going to happen, bro. It's not. Baltimore wants to have, if they're bringing in Maxx, they want 3 monsters at each level of their defense. You got Maxx up front. You got, Roquan there at the second level of your defense at the linebacker position. You got Kyle Hamilton back there in the secondary. I just don't see it at all. Again, they're trying to build this thing. Now, Travis Jones Rube is an interesting one. I've been a fan of him since Connecticut. I know that they extended him. That would be interesting. I just don't know if they would want to do it. I think that they would try to bring in Maxx because they have Travis Jones in the building. You know what I mean? I don't think they would want to move off of Travis Jones. I think they would want to keep him in the middle of that defensive line because of Maxx Crosby. So, but again, Trav is a dog. I've been a major, major fan of him, since Connecticut. Dude's a stud. Salute to my guy all aboard, man. My dog, man. Always good to see you in the building. I seen your message as well, brother. We definitely have to work on it. I've just been crazy busy. I know you have as well. There's a standoff right now between the Cowboys and Eagles for Crosby, and you love to see it. You love to see it. Hey, man, whoever puts out the best trade package out there wins. I don't give a shit if it's Dallas or Philly. I think in both situations, Maxx wins. Philadelphia, you're going to a proven winner that's fighting for, the Super Bowl, every single year. Or you go to Dallas where, they have one of the top O's in football. If they can get their defense together, they can be fighting for a playoff berth year in and year out. And then again, you come back to a place where you grew up, where your mom and dad lives. So I think either one is a good situation for Maxx. But, it's going to be funny because, Maxx could be going from one dysfunctional organization to the next. Jerry is still Jerry at the end of the day, you guys. I mean, I live in the Dallas area. I know a ton of Cowboys fans who tell me year in and year out they're sick of him. They can't wait until Jerry kicks the can. I'm not one of them type of people that wishes death upon anybody. You know what I mean? But, I'm just saying it's sometimes it's not always greener on the other side, my brother. It really ain't. But again, with him out here and Quentin Williams in the middle of that defensive line, that could be a great duo, out here in Dallas, man. So we'll see. And Dave says, watch the Bears up to ante. We'll see. I don't give a shit who does. Run those picks. Run those picks. Run those picks. That's what we're here for, right? Run those picks. We're trying to hit the rebuild, the reset button. Run those picks and give us an impactful player in return with those picks. And let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Dallas, 2 firsts in Siobhan Revel, 2 firsts in Aubrey, whatever. Again, if Philly wants to go a first in Jaylen Carter or Jaylen Carter and some other shit, run it. Chicago, we're going to need 2 firsts and a player. Maybe it's Gervin. Maybe it's the nose tackle, the young nose tackle out there with Chicago, 24 years old. Maybe it's him. We'll see. And yeah, what's funny? Nada, do you remember? I think a report came out not too long ago. So I want to read this before we get out of here. Bleacher Report's Brad Gagnon shared an article a couple days ago. It could have been yesterday or the day before. It was recent, you guys. He said, well, he's a 24-year-old, Jaylen Carter, top 10 pick who was a key part of the 2024 Super Bowl team and is still widely expected to dominate up front for another decade. Micah Parsons seemed to suggest on his Bleacher Report podcast that Carter might have been on the table in trade talks with Dallas last offseason. He's actually coming off of a down year, but an otherwise loaded defensive team would use his trajectory and still low salary to command one hell of a return. So remember, Micah did suggest that the Cowboys reached out and that Jalen Carter was potentially in trade talks. Again, Dallas ends up with Quentin Williams. Micah ends up going out to Green Bay. A whole list of shit happened. But again, Carter's one of the best defensive tackles in football. And if you could find a way to bring him in a trade with Maxx, it's just, you got to pull the trigger there. So, but salute to the 1,500 people here in the building. You guys get those likes up. Make sure you wipe them feet. If you have not wiped them yet, get those likes up, man. Again, I got to get ready to go finish up this workout. I got some other things going on. This caffeine is kicking my ass right now. Hit that subscribe button as well, you guys. Again, we'll be live covering this Maxx thing every step of the way. If anything else happens, we're here every step of the way. Monday, free agency show. When the temporary period opens, we'll be live for hours. Pull up Monday. Also Wednesday, we'll be live for hours as well. Once the NFL officially opens up for business, we'll be covering that every step of the way as well. So we're on Maxx Watch here, you guys. Stay tuned. If anything happens, Shieldmore will be on the case first. We'll be here live and ready to rip and run. Love you guys. And again, take this Jaylen Carter thing with a grain of salt. Again, Ricky Scoops put a bomb out there on Twitter today. I'm not here to say that, this is going to happen. I'm not here to say that it's not going to happen. But again, this guy has definitely hit on a ton in the past. And again, he's batting like 90 in my eyes right now. So stay tuned. All aboard. It's all good, brother. Let me know. And salute the verbal jiu-jitsu. Lamar Jackson, something just happened. What you mean? They may be restructuring him or giving him a new deal? What do you mean? Let me see. I know he said that he wanted a new deal. Let me see. Dolphins to release Alec in gold. Another name to keep an eye on there, you guys. I know a lot of people would love him to come back into the fold. We need a fullback right now. Click Kubiak put it out there that we are going to bring in a fullback. Former Raider great available there. If Raiders are wanting Jalen Carter along with multiple first-round picks from the Eagles for Maxx Crosby, I think you can probably count the Seahawks out of any possible sweepstakes there. Oh, yeah, we're not going to get multiple first, though. That's not going to happen. Jalen in a first would be phenomenal. Another name, again, you guys, to keep an eye on. We talked about him before. It sounds like the Jaguars are expected to potentially part ways with Brian Thomas Jr. They just extended Jacoby out there. They've just drafted Trav, who will play more on the corner side of things, but he will be a part-time wide receiver. And then they also have Parker Washington, I believe, out there who balled out for him last year. So it looks like several teams may be in. If we can bring in an extra second-round pick, could you imagine this, you guys? Let's just say the Raiders move on from Maxx. Let's just say the Raiders moved on from Maxx. And we got Jalen in the second. Could you imagine getting Jalen Carter and Brian Thomas Jr. for Maxx Crosby? I think that would be a great package, right? If I'm the Raiders, I'm saying, hey, take 36 now. We got an extra second. Take 36. Give us Brian Thomas Jr. on a rookie deal, who had a down season last year. Definitely him and Trevor Lawrence were not on the same page like that last year. He had some drops last year. But could you imagine moving Maxx, getting Jalen Carter? Let's just say we got Jalen in the second, and you ended up with Brian Thomas Jr. and him. I would not be upset about that. I would not be upset about that. Would not. Okay. Lamar just tweeted, boom. Let me see. Got to see this. Lamar Jackson. Hold on, y'all. Let's see what he's talking about. 8 minutes ago, boom. With a blushing emoji. Do you think it's A.J. Brown, you guys? Do you think it's A.J. Brown? Could be A.J. Brown. Possibly Maxx. But, Lamar's an offensive guy. Maybe it's A.J. Brown. Maybe they made a move for A.J. And then Howie, guess what? We'll have some extra draft capital to will and deal for Maxx Crosby as well. Things are about to get really, really interesting here. Let me show you guys real quick for those who are wondering. Put the Denzel gif up. Boom. Let me quote tweet this. We'll see what this is. We'll see what this is. If I had to guess, A.J. Brown, Dave, possibly Linderbaum. Maybe they took care of his center. That can be a good call on that day. Possibly Tyler Linderbaum. Maybe they just paid him before. I don't know why Linderbaum though would not test free agency. I think that'd be bad business practice. It sounds like he's gonna like super reset the market at the center position. I think I would be firing my agents if they're telling me to just sign the first deal with Baltimore. Why not test free agency? I know the Chargers, just signed the Commanders' former center today. Chicago's looking for a center. They're freeing up some money. It could be Linderbaum, or it could be McGovern. But again, there's several teams out there that can pay top money for Linderbaum. But we'll see. It could be Linderbaum. It could be A.J. Brown. And Federal, if the Bears are the favorite to land Linderbaum, I know he's from Iowa, so it's not too far from where he's from. But I believe he grew up a Green Bay Packers fan. I know that doesn't really mean a lot in terms of business, but he's a Packer fan, but he grew up in Iowa. So The Bears make a ton of sense. He goes from one situation to a winning situation in Chicago. That would make sense. But, you know, I think Linderbaum it'd be smart to wait, at least just see what the Raiders are going to offer out there, or some of these other teams potentially. And again, McGovern will still be available there. You know, it looks like Buffalo's going to allow their center to enter free agency. So, Dan, I'm not giving Linderbaum no $28 million at all, bro. No. From what I'm hearing, like top dollar would be like 23, 24 million, making him clearly the highest paid center by a lot. A lot. Over Creed Humphrey out there in Kansas City by a lot. So, but we'll see. We'll see what this means. We'll see what this means, man. ITK, I disagree with you. You see, we shouldn't be overpaying for anybody at this stage. I think we should. For a player like him who's young, he's still young, and he's entering his second contract. 3-time Pro Bowler, back-to-back years. He still fits the timeline of what we're trying to do. And if you're going to overpay anybody, ITK should be the guy that's literally handing the football to your young rookie quarterback every single play, right? If you're going to invest at any position, you overpay at the center spot to make sure Fernando Mendoza is taken care of. You don't want to have an Alice Kappa situation, a Jordan Meredith situation at the center position. And it's clear as day that they all are looking at JPJ right now as a guard. So I'm just saying, you know, you could go and look at the draft. You could look at, you know, again, you know, possibly, you know, a Logan or you know, a Coogan, one of those guys. But again, if you're going to overpay anybody, overpay the center, the guy that's going to be snapping the football to your young rookie quarterback every single down. So I got to disagree with you, brother. Got to disagree with you. But yeah, other than that, you guys, let me get the hell out of here. As always, love and appreciate you all. On the way out, wipe them feet, hit that subscribe button. We will talk soon. Again, Max Watch will be here every step of the way. One.